What is going on, everybody? So I'm here at the shop, Tanknicians, and we got a fun little fish order that just came in that I wanted to share with you guys. Plus, I wanted to go over kind of our process of how we deal with the fish when they come in before they go into our quarantine system, just prepping them, getting them ready. So they just got delivered. Let's go and check out and see what we have. All right, so first up, we have a pair of Onyx Picasso clownfish. So these two are a mated pair. They will be sold together. They will not be sold separately. But wow, look at the markings on these. Now these are 100% obviously aquaculture. These are not wild. These are specifically bred to look like this. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful fish. And you know, your normal clownfish have just the orange and the black. These have a predominantly white body. And under blue lights, that white kind of has an iridescent blue sheen to it. It's really pretty under blue lights too. So they don't just look good under white lights. They look good if you run a lot of heavy blue lights as well. But this is a pair. So we're gonna go ahead and keep them separate from the rest of the order for the simple fact that they're gonna be going in their own aquarium. Now, forgive me, I thought we just had one pair. We have two pairs. So this is a black ice snowflake, a pair. And the female's the darker orange, the male's got the lighter orange, but you can see it's a similar color scheme. They got the orange, white, and black, but the white is way more visible on these. Again, these are the black ice snowflakes. These are also seem to be a pair as well. So we will keep them together. And here's a bunch of just small Ocellaris clownfish, just your standard clowns. I really just, for me personally, I just like the standard clowns. I love the orange. I like a lot of orange on my clownfish. I think these guys are beautiful just how they come. I do think it is cool that people play around and get different morphs. But for me personally, I just love the standard clownfish. I think they're absolutely just kind of a staple of the hobby. So we got a bunch of those in. Next up, we have another clownfish. Now this I've never seen before. This is unique. Look at the perfect circle by his cheek. That is crazy. And then first thing you notice is obviously it seems like it's got the lower half of its body is black. It's not quite perfect like a royal grandma where you got that perfect line there, but really cool looking. Half the tail, half the body black, half the body like a normal clownfish. And the fins seem a little bit longer too on this fish. I'd imagine that they were breeding and then this guy kind of just came out unique looking, so they wanted to sell him because he's so unique looking, but they didn't really, he's not really a purposely, they weren't trying to get him. Now, for those of you who are saying, oh, is this all gonna be just clownfish? No, we do have some other fish coming up, but this is the last of the clownfish. These are some orange skunk clowns. I really think these guys are underrated. I love them. I think they're a really cool fish. They're very pretty in reef systems. They do well with anemones. They tend to go to anemones right away. Highly recommend the orange skunk clownfish. I love this. And you can have multiple in your aquarium, we've noticed. As with the Perculas and Ocellaris, they're better as pairs. These guys, they seem to do really well in larger groups. Next, we have a springery dottyback, which out of all the dottybacks, this seems to be the most peaceful of them. It's got that black body and it's got an electric blue face, which once it's in your aquarium, you can see a bit there, but like I said, once it feels safe and it's excited in your aquarium and feels comfortable, the blue really shines bright. But this dottyback of all the dottybacks is probably the least aggressive. It's a great fish as far as pest control. It does a great job taking care of things like flatworms and other little pests that might be in your aquarium. They do like to hide a bit, but as far as dottybacks go, they're pretty active. So highly recommend this fish for, anything above 20-gallon aquarium. We have these in a couple customers' tanks and they absolutely love them. Speaking of a fish that doesn't get much respect or love, the canary blenny. Man, do I love canary blennies. These guys are awesome. They're part of the fang-tooth blenny family. They do have fangs that are technically, I guess, venomous. So that means they can defend themselves pretty well because of that. They're really pretty yellow fish. They're very inquisitive. You can see these guys coming right up to me, to the camera. They're not very shy. Hardy fish, active eaters, eat a lot of different varieties of food, do really well in aquariums. I love these fish. I think they're great. They don't seem to be too aggressive. They got a really good personality once they settle in your tank. I think these are a great selection if you're looking for, if you have about a 40-gallon aquarium or something like that. Next up, we have some neon gobies, except these are the yellow lines. Now, I know most people are used to seeing the blue line neon gobies, but these are the yellow line. I love them. I love that bright yellow. I do like the blue, but on the neon gobies. But if you run a lot of blue lights, that blue kind of gets washed out. So the yellow is a nice change of pace. It really stands out in the aquarium, especially if you have a nano aquarium, which I think I might put one of these guys in my Pico tank. They are really cool. Again, hardy fish, eat about any type of food, not aggressive, and they're like little cleaners too. So they'll pick little parasites off your fish. Very inquisitive. They're usually out and about, not very shy. Oh, and here we have some Watchman gobies. Now this is not the yellow Watchmans. These are just your standard Watchman gobies. They don't look like much right now because they're a little down colored, but once these guys stay in the aquarium for a while and they're more comfortable and they're eating good and they're like I said, they don't feel so scared, they start getting a little bit of different colors on their body. So I've seen these guys with like a little hints of pink, little hints of blue. Compare these guys with pistol shrimp. Remember when I said that's it for clownfish? I lied. We have one more. This is a black storm clownfish. And wow, look at that face. It's just got the orange only on its lips, but it's mostly black and white. I don't know what classifies it as a black storm. If anybody knows why that is, please comment down below. I'm not really into the whole clownfish, morphs and all that stuff, but I guess I should learn. But yeah, I love the look of this guy. It doesn't even look like a clownfish really, but I'm sure under blue lights he looks really cool. Like I said, he only has the orange on the lips, and he's got a pretty cool little pattern there on him. So that's a black storm. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, acclimate all of them. I'm really curious to see what the salinity is in those bags. And then I'm going to get them prepped for a hydrogen peroxide bath. All right, so we have the fish in acclimation buckets right now, and I will be giving them a hydrogen peroxide bath. So we'll go ahead and do this before they go into their holding aquarium. Now, why hydrogen peroxide baths before we put them in our quarantine system? Just because we want to reduce the amount of parasites, ciliates, pests, anything that's on the fish before they go into our QT system. Any fish, no matter where it comes from, gets a preliminary bath before we put it into a quarantine system. This is just another precautionary step that we take to just try to reduce the amount of cross-contamination and also try to make it less stressful on the fish as well. If you want information on how to do hydrogen peroxide bath yourself, Humble Fish, great YouTube page. Plus there's Humble Fish Forum, where there's a lot of great resources on different ways to medicate and quarantine your fish. So make sure to check that out. Okay, the hydrogen peroxide bath is done. Let's go ahead and put them in their 75-gallon quarantine setup. So here it is. We've got a 75-gallon tank right here. Everybody is in. Plenty of room for everybody. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some PVC in here so they have little hidey holes. Again, this 75-gallon tank is not a long-term solution. It's just 24 hours to get their preliminary medications, make sure that they are good to go until they are put in their individual tanks. We break them up even further, but right now we're just gonna go ahead and since we can fit them all into a 75-gallon tank, we'll go ahead and do that. Once they make it past that initial couple of baths that they get, they'll be broken down even further in something like this 10-gallon aquarium where you see these chromosaur, where they will receive more medications, but also they will be under observation as well. It's not uncommon for us to hold these fish for like a month and a half, maybe even 2 months. We do our best to sell the customer here at Tanknitions, the customer, the cleanest fish possible. That is our end game, that is our goal. Oh, and here's our Picasso clownfish. Right here, they have their own little 10-gallon tank. And then our black ice pair over here, they have their own little 10-gallon tank as well. So they're all hooked up right now. We're gonna keep them separate for the simple fact that they're already paired up, and we wanna keep that bond between those two fish, because we could sell them as a mated pair, or somebody will really want a mated pair and maybe want to breed those fish. So that's the reason we're going to give them their own personal tank. So lucky them, right? All right, that's where I'm going to stop the video. I got a lot of work to do here still, so just wanted to share that with you guys. It is a lot of work. It is incredibly detailed and can be frustrating at times, but I think it's really worth it, especially when you're kind of doing things that are experimental in the hobby. And honestly, we do this for the benefit of the fish, and hopefully upping the survival rate in this hobby, because that's very important. Me working in this business now for close to 5 years, I really like to see the survival rate in these fish be higher. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about our quarantine process or anything else, just put it down in the comments. I'll do my best to respond. I'm pretty good about responding to comments, being that I don't have that many subscribers, so it's pretty easy. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.